Okay, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the course content, how to arrange it and work with it. Again, if you're teaching a class face-to-face, you probably don't have to use the content, but it's a nice way to keep things organized by chapters as you do things, and how to add additional materials to the course if you so choose to do that. So you have content on its front page here right there, but I don't like going into content that way. It's just kind of the way Brightspace is set up. A better way to work with content is actually click on content at the top. There are other ways to do this, but this is the way I prefer. Now, if you're not seeing this when you first get in there, that we got everything inserted, you just click on Table of Contents here, and that will bring everything up like this. And one of the things you noticed here, the first module is embedded assessments. Again, that's a required part of the course that we have to have. You notice everything in there is on a draft mode. What that means is you can see it, but the students can't. And that's probably okay on the embedded assessments because I'm going to incorporate them elsewhere. If you just want to make these available directly for students, because we have a thing we do at the beginning called a pre-survey. That's kind of an indirect formative assessment, and then at the end we have the practice exam, which is a formal summative assessment. So that covers the kinds of assessments we have to do. And you notice here, as we talk about assessments, we have to have a direct assessment, indirect, a summative, and a formative. Well, with those two activities, the way we've set it up, we've covered all of that. This part should have been in your course before you even imported anything else. That's a standard thing that's imported into most everybody's course. Well, I prefer that really the students not see it, because what do we mean by embedded assessments? I'd rather incorporate it right in units. So one of the things I'm going to do is just kind of pull this down to the very bottom, and I just grab that dots in the front of it. There's like 4 slashes, 4 dots, and I can grab and rearrange things quite easily that way. And then you see it's no longer at top. What you'll see is it's been moved to the bottom of my course, so it's not there to see that. Now, what I can do now is I've got a Getting Started module in this course. You may or may not have that. You can set one up yourself. In there, we've got an introduction discussion. We want students to introduce themselves. You can change these discussions by editing them yourselves. I'm not going to do that in this module, but that's all that's in there right now. Well, we have that pre-survey. I'd like to have that part in this Getting Started module. So I'm going to come up here to Existing Activities, and that's a survey. So I'm going to come down and find Surveys. And you'll see here's Preschool Skill Survey. Click that, and that automatically adds it in there. You see it's in draft mode, so I'm going to change that and make sure it's published so the students can see it. Then I come down into Chapter 1, Crop Plant Anatomy. We already set this all up for you, at least in the agronomy course. Some of your other courses may not be set up exactly the same. And we've got a discussion topic, a practice quiz, and an actual quiz for each module. That's all we have in there. If you want to add new things, existing activities that are there, you can look at that list and play with that a little bit. You can also come here and actually create things yourselves. And one thing people like to do, for example, if you like to do video or audio, you can click on that video or audio, and you can go out and find videos, okay? YouTube videos, you can get the embedded code or URL, just click it in there and add that video to this. In fact, I think I'll pause here and we'll go ahead and grab a YouTube video and show you how that works. Now, I know there are videos that go along with the textbook, but then those are saved on their website, so we can't embed those directly in here because we have to go out to their website. You have to have an access code to access those. But if you want to use some other videos, I just went out and searched YouTube for crop plant anatomy. Here's a crop plant anatomy video. And I don't know if it's any good or not. I'm just using it as an example. But all I got to do to grab that video is click Share here. And there's that. I can just copy that link right there. I can go back to my Brightspace here, enter that in there, Control V is what I use, and then I can save that. When I do that, that video is now embedded within Brightspace. So if I go back to my chapter there, you'll see Plant Anatomy, it says it's a video. Very easy thing to do. I say, nah, I don't want that anymore. I just come in here and I delete the topic. And I just say remove the topic and click delete. So those are things you can do within content as you look at it. There's Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. If you want to change the titles of anything, you can go in there and do that. Edit properties in place. If you want to set due dates, and I'll go to that in a second. Let's go on down to the bottom here because I do want to add another module in here. I go into my final activities here. Final activities down here, and I've got my course reflection, my final exam, my skills post survey, but I don't have that practice test that I use as an embedded assessment in here. So I'm going to come up here I'm going to go to quizzes, and within my list of quizzes, here's that practice exam. Add that in. It's kind of at the bottom. Well, I want them to take that before the crop final exam. And you can rearrange again by grabbing those dots and just dragging one way or the other. You notice it's still in draft stage, so I'm going to publish that. So that is the same one that is in this embedded assessments, by the way. It's just created a second copy of it when I inserted it. So I've got these two embedded assessment things. Those have to be in my course somewhere for my students to take. That's what's required by the college. Okay, the other thing I was going to show you is creating due dates. You can do that within table of contents. So if I come over here to table of contents again, and the easiest way is to come into bulk edit, and I click on that. What that will do is we'll open up everything to work with, and you can see here I can add dates and restrictions there. I can add dates and restrictions here. For example, let's on my introductions. I can say I have a due date on that introductions of 4/26, and I'm going to give them a couple extra days for those students that have always make excuses and make it the 28th, okay? And you can set the times also with that. I could just set that there at the 26th too if I wanted to. You also could put a start date in here. And you can do that on anything in content, and then that'll carry over to the discussions or the quizzes or the assignment sections. You can set the dates here, or you can set them in the other areas. I'm going to cancel all that. Right now, the course that we imported doesn't have any dates in it. Rolling courses forward in future semesters, there are a way of managing dates. They keep improving that tool every year. So I'm not going to go into that in this course. At least we're doing it to set up this time. When you're all done editing things, and there's other things like you can add descriptions in here and other things you can do if you want. You just click done editing, and we didn't make any changes at this point. So that's the course content in there. You can also add your syllabus and things within here as a module. I don't believe we have any syllabus we're putting in there, but those will be available to you also to work with, and put that in here. That's one of the things the college wants is in here is your syllabus. So with that, I'll stop this video.